Vanessa Manillo, an American actress, once said, "The thing about my high school, which I love, is that we had uniforms, but whenever we had free dress day, it was prep bill with sweater vests and polo shirts and khakis and dockers." Today I'd like to persuade you on why current uniform policy is bad, but uniforms in general are a good idea. Everyone here most likely had to wear uniforms as they went through school. I wore uniforms from elementary all the way to high school. Today's uniform policy is bad because children are still bullied for not wearing name brand uniforms. There's still a risk for gang formation, and they are difficult to enforce. Although the policy is bad, does not necessarily mean that uniforms are bad. I'm in favor of uniforms, but I believe that there are issues that we need to fix and that will benefit the children indefinitely. Claudine Wharton from University of Nevada studied that 90% of students indicated they did not like wearing uniforms, but various benefits to wearing uniforms were reported, including decreases in discipline, gang involvement, and bullying, and also increases in safety, ease of going to school, confidence, and self-esteem. So now that you know my 3 main points, let's begin with the first one. Uniforms are a good idea, but the policy schools are going by is not working. Students are bullied and judged by the uniforms that they wear. Schools took out free dressing because of the one issue that the students were bullied for not wearing name brand clothing, and it caused distractions. While this point is correct, students are still harassed by what they wear. For instance, Nicole Edelin from Our Family World stated that when she was in private school, they were allowed to wear green tights under their skirts in the winter. Kmart was the only place she could find them. And when she came to school with her tights on, another girl asked her where she got them. When she told her, she laughed at her and said that she would wait until a more upscale store started selling them. That is a perfect example of why students wearing the same thing but still being bullied for not having name brand clothing. Also, uniforms are supposed to help prevent gang members from forming on campus. While that is also correct, students are still able to form gangs on campus. For instance, one gang could wear blue while the other wear red. The National Crime Prevention Council states that gang members usually differentiate themselves from rival gang members and non-members by wearing a specific color of clothing. Montebello High School officials say that other high schools also have strict dress codes, but Montebello is believed the first large public high school in the area to require students to purchase uniforms. They made students buy uniforms without the color red or powder blue in order to win the battle over gang affiliation and uniforms. Another reason uniforms are good is that they enforce discipline. Daniel Spanner from Global Post says that schools that adopt uniform policy help to promote a safe and disciplined learning environment. Uniforms discipline students and help them prepare for when they get a job and are required to wear uniforms there. Uniforms have many ways of helping students' learning experience. There's just a different way to approach them. Now that you know why uniforms are a good thing but are handled the wrong way, let me tell you about a solution for that. Uniforms are beneficial to students, but there's a better way to approach them and enforce them. Buying uniforms from school are a great way to keep diversity out of the classroom. Although they are great, there are problems with the existing policy that needs to be fixed. School uniforms could be purchased through the school. The school could also buy uniforms in bulk, and each student would be required to buy a set of uniforms. Parents that could not afford the uniforms would be put on a payment plan where they pay for the uniforms throughout the year. Private schools already have this concept and enforce that each student wear the same thing. Peachtree Academy Private School requires each student to wear polo shirts with the Peachtree Academy logo that may be burgundy, black, white, or ice pink. Uniform pants must be khaki or black. Although private schools are a little more expensive, the conflict of people not being able to afford the uniforms would be resolved quickly by stating that the public school students must buy uniforms anyway to attend. The uniforms would be easily affordable and would solve bullying problems. Students would also be required to follow a daily dress code. For instance, on Mondays wear the white shirt with khaki pants, and on Tuesdays wear a blue shirt with khaki pants, and so on. That would solve gang color problems, and everyone would be wearing the same thing. So not only would the students be wearing the same exact uniform brand, they would also be wearing the same color. This concept would resolve all problems of distractions, bullying, and gang formation. So now that you know my reasons on why a new uniform policy is good, let me tell you about the benefits of it. Students would benefit from this new uniform policy in several different ways. Not only would the students all look alike and dress alike, there would be no social barrier, and students would be free to express themselves without having to do so through their clothing. Educational psychologists stated in an interview, "Let's start getting kids to be expressive in terms of their thoughts, their words, their deeds," meaning that students shouldn't have to express themselves through fashion and clothing. They should be able to express themselves through their thoughts and actions. A new school uniform policy would also benefit the students because it would secure their safety of gang formation and danger from them. All students students, as said before, would be dressed the same and look alike. No student would be different, and therefore it would help stop gangs from representing their color. School uniforms also benefit students because it will help the poorer children fit in. If the richer kids have the same uniforms as the poorer kids, it wouldn't matter who had what because all students look alike and have the same clothes on. So in conclusion, a new uniform policy would be extremely beneficial to all students. Overall, uniforms are a good idea, but should be approached differently. The current uniform policy is bad because children are still bullied for not wearing name brand uniforms. There is still a risk for gang formation, and they are difficult to enforce. When everyone leaves today, I would like for them to remember these 3 points: that a new uniform policy would stop uniform distractions, not separate students financially, and better their safety. An unknown author said, "School uniforms create unity and equality between students rather than the feeling of being different."